right, guys, welcome to Double Shot of Steelers. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. He's Chris Halleck. We're from DK Pittsburgh Sports. This program is brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook, where the action just goes on and on and on. Sure, the NFL season is over. Super Bowl's done.
Mm-hmm.
We're still 3 months away from the NFL draft.
Yeah, it's near the end of April. I think I can't remember the exact date, but it's right. It's right there.
Like it's April. No, that would be 2 months. When
April
is the-
23rd.
We would know
April
this thing.
23rd.
Okay, so
I knew it was around my son's
it's
birthday.
2 months in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it is. And they have all kinds of options for you at FanDuel that you can check out.
Including a new one today.
What would that be?
You can now start betting on which team is going to win each division.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I thought we just handed that to Baltimore.
Well, they are the favorites to win the AFC North.
Of course, they're the favorites to win everything
Mm-hmm.
because they have Lamar Jackson, and no one will acknowledge that Lamar has fallen off. Not even you. You don't. You never. You're like, oh, Lamar. As if he's still Lamar, as if he's still MVP Lamar.
Well, it's not like he's that far removed from his last MVP season.
When the end comes.
All right, so the order that you can guess on the AFC North betting odds to win, what do you think they are?
I have no idea.
Baltimore at number one.
Oh, Baltimore, then Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and then Pittsburgh, and then Cleveland.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm good at this or something.
Yeah, the Steelers are plus, the odds are plus 650.
Everybody thinks the Steelers are going to stink.
This is literally probably some of the easiest money that you can make.
We say that every year, though.
It is
Every
true.
year, the Steelers get dumped on in these things beforehand. Go ahead, give me a Steelers number that you say is easy money. Go
That's
ahead.
the same, plus 650 right there. You place $20 on that, and you turn $20 into, let's see,
To win the division.
Yeah, to win the division.
To win the division, which they just bleeping did.
Yeah, which they just did. So if you bet $20, and it's not that much money, but if you bet $20, you'll get $130. You just turn $20 into 130
Just like that.
just by going to your FanDuel Sportsbook, by taking your Jalen Warren dog $20 bill.
Jalen Warren dog fund.
And then you can turn that into 130 if the Steelers end up winning the AFC North.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Look, it even sits still.
There you go.
No, it doesn't. That's because it's like Jalen. It just has to keep moving. It can't be stopped.
But yeah, you go to the FanDuel Sportsbook, you can start betting on that stuff right now. Division winners, conference winners, and of course, who's going to win Super Bowl 61.
Guys, when we're talking about this football team, you're looking for holes this time of year more than anything else. What are the holes? Who are the holes? Who are the people that you would want to have replaced? Who are where are the vacancies that are created just because those people might leave?
Mm-hmm.
And when I come up with my list, some of them are kind of obvious. For example, if Kenny Gainwell goes into free agency, that's tough.
Yep.
I think you'd need to wrap him up before he goes somewhere. But I want to talk today about inside linebacker in general, because I find it to be a confounding issue in a lot of different ways. Like, I see the stuff that both Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson do well. And when he was out there, I mean, all full credit to Cole Holcomb for coming back or whatever. He obviously wasn't,
He wasn't what he used to be.
His peak self.
Yeah.
I mean, but the fact that he even came back from that.
It's
mind-blowing.
remarkable.
Yeah. And borderline miraculous.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what this team's future is at the position. I really do. And when I say that I wonder, I'm pointing mostly at the lack of information that we would have, and understandably at this stage, as to what it is that Mike McCarthy would want and what it is that Patrick Graham would want. What I understand that Graham has the reputation. He is Mr. Adaptability, and I'll work with whatever, and that's been his brand throughout his NFL career. But I also understand that there's a certain way that coaches like to play the game. And even if they deny that, it ends up showing itself on the field at some point. They're going to see players keeping this to inside linebacker. And they'll go, man, but it's one thing for a running back to get through the first level.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing for them to go second and third level. And that's what you see with the Steelers way too often. It's overly simplistic to blame the inside linebackers on that. In fact, at times it's flat out inaccurate.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. but can you get performance at a higher level, especially as it relates to stopping the run, if you had other inside linebackers?
I've been doing a little extra homework on this position, and we've talked about it on this show a little bit. And I do think that if Patrick Graham, whatever he can bring with the defense, that's probably the position I'm hoping is most affected by whatever he does. Because I think it was the position that was most handcuffed under Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin in terms of.
You don't say.
Yeah. So I want to see guys be able to play a little bit more free, but not be able to play more free, but everything else that's going on around them allows them to play more free.
Okay.
That being said, I'm not saying to just run it back with the guys that you have, regardless, because I also look at the draft. This is an unusually strong crop of inside linebackers in the draft.
Okay.
It's
You
not
caught my attention.
It's
here.
not usually a very no, I'm not saying there are 4 first rounders in there or anything like that. But there's at least a couple of guys that could be first round picks. And then I think day 2 is the sweet spot for that position.
Inside linebacker.
I really think it's
I'm not having this reaction because you're pointing this out about the draft. I'm having this reaction because it sounds like you would actually be open to such a thing. Inside linebacker in the second round.
If it's the right guy and you've already taken care of you got yourself a dog in the first round at whatever position, hopefully receiver.
Wide receiver.
Well, I agree with that. But if for whatever reason the first round doesn't work out for you to do that, you can't just Kenny Pickett it and take whatever the best receiver that's left available.
The obligatory Kenny Pickett strays are flying here.
But that's my point is, like, if for whatever reason, like, receivers are flying off the shelf in the first 15 to 18 picks and the next receiver that's available at 21 overall because you didn't trade up for whatever reason is a second round player, you don't take that player. That you don't do that. But if things work out and it's the right guy, yeah, I would think second round would be okay for inside linebacker if it's the right guy.
Let's do this then.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first thing that would have to happen there is that Queen would be out of the picture. You're not giving up on Wilson.
And you'll at least know that by then because it's the draft. So you'll know that by then.
At Wilson's age and Wilson's experience level and with his natural abilities, his speed, and he can do some things that others can't. Wilson feels to me more like what was Mike Tomlin's pet expression about the woe and sick 'em?
Oh, yeah. I'd rather say woe than sick 'em.
Woe than sick 'em. Whereas what you have to do with Wilson more than anything is make sure that he's not headless chickening his way all over the field.
Right.
He has to know where it is that he's going, why he's going there, and then get there with his usual purpose.
Mm-hmm.
PQ is a good football player who has been done wrong by the coaching staff in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to make him blameless. That's not to say that it shouldn't have taken him a lot less time to get adapted to the green dot role and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also been done wrong, I feel like, go ahead and get mad at me, by the fan base in that.
Oh, it's the Joey Porter Jr. thing too.
He has been branded
mm-hmm.
by he'll miss a tackle.
Yeah.
Especially missed tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't look good when it happens. I don't know of anybody that looks good on a missed tackle. I mean, even Troy would look bad when he missed a tackle. It's hard for Troy to look bad.
Really quick sidebar. My favorite missed tackle clip of all time. I don't remember who the guy was, but it was a guy on the Jaguars. It was the famous Blake Bortles game. But Le'Veon Bell made a move on this guy. And literally the sound that's made, for some of you who have seen the reel, it was just this like it was just it was like so funny because Bell just made him miss so badly. It's like one of my favorite clips that's like ever.
The announcer made that sound?
No, the player.
Oh, the player.
He was mic'd up.
Holy hell.
And like when Bell is literally making him miss, the sound that he makes. I'll play it for you after we're off the air. But yeah, anyway, so missed tackles never look good.
And PQ's gotten it from them. And then the other thing is that PQ is very outspoken. So the combination of that can rub fans the wrong way. They feel like and I've never really fully understood this, but if you have not attained a certain status that you shouldn't be speaking to reporters, which I really don't get. The reporters are looking for information. Doesn't matter. We don't care where it comes from.
Yeah.
Let's get real with both of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I have their statistics here in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
The Pittsburgh defense's leading tackler was actually not PQ.
Yeah.
It was Wilson. He had 126 to PQ's 120. From a solo perspective, which does matter, Wilson had 74 to PQ's 56.
Mm-hmm.
Sacks are tough with these guys because they didn't really get asked to do a whole heck of a lot of that. They weren't sent in.
They did not
much. So, but anyway, Wilson had 2, PQ had 1. Against the pass, Wilson had 2 pass defensed, PQ had 4. Wilson had an interception with a 17-yard return. PQ had a forced fumble and a fumble recovery.
Mm-hmm.
If I land here from Pluto and I look at this, the only thing I think to myself is, why are you guys wasting time talking about this? They look like they're pretty good players.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at their tackle numbers, you'll see that there's an efficiency there. Now, it's more complicated than that because there's also missed tackle rate and everything else here. But
Peyton Wilson is also, not all of those tackles for Peyton Wilson are on defense. He also had a few on special teams as well.
Oh, okay. Well, he didn't have 18 of them.
No, he did not. But I know what you're saying. But yeah, he numbers don't tell the entire story. And when you go and you look at like PFF grades, they were not kind to I don't really think to either Patrick Queen or Peyton Wilson. But then again, I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations, and I'm not talking about conversations with either Queen or Wilson. I'm talking with any player. You know, one player, and I don't think he would be upset that he's told me this because he's pretty much told me this on the record anyway. Joey Porter Jr. hates PFF. Can't stand them.
They all do.
I know that, but I'm like, he is literally like comes straight out. He's just like, they don't know anything. And that's like usually the conversation. They don't know what we're asked to do. And that's the hard part when it comes to film analysis. And that's why whenever I do Chalk Talks, I'm always very transparent in saying, this is what I'm seeing. And unless it's told to me specifically by a player on what they're asked to do, I have to assume based off of what I know, but it's still an assumption. You don't know.
No.
And sites like PFF are trying to quantify that. And it's hard. I get that. I understand both perspectives on this. But whenever I'm told that inside linebackers are feeling shackled by the way they're playing, and then they watch the film from the week 2 home opener against Seattle, and they're looking at what Mike McDonald's doing, and they're like, oh man, I wish I was playing in that kind of a system. It just goes to show things can be easier. Like it's,
but what to their own performance is, I'm done. Tomlin, Terrell Austin.
Oh yeah. It is what it is. Yeah.
I want to know what they can be as players. And I want to know if McCarthy and Graham can look at film of one or both, and specifically PQ, because his salary goes into some other level.
It does. That's a big factor here.
And that's got to be something that they look at as well. I want to know if they look at these players and think to themselves, they're the answer. They're the ones we want. Because when I go to, this is what I've been looking for here on Pro Football Reference, they track missed tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you think of Peyton Wilson as a missed tackle guy, there's merit to it. He missed 10 tackles this year. He had a missed tackle percentage of 7.4%. That's not egregious.
Especially for linebacker, it's not bad at all.
Because you're in the middle of the field, you're in position to make a lot of tackles, and depending on how it is that you get judged on those,
and you're usually running at a really high rate of speed when you're going to make a tackle,
especially him. Yeah.
So
he puts himself. I know what you're going to say. He puts himself in the morgue.
Yeah. So you're usually in more, and the reason why you usually see higher missed tackle rates at linebacker as opposed to like defensive tackle or edge rusher is because those guys are never running full speed or even close to full speed when they have an opportunity to make a tackle.
Well, they might not even be on the side where the run was.
Right.
If they run to the left side and TJ's over on the other side, what's TJ going to do? You don't get now, I mentioned the missed tackle rate for Peyton Wilson. Missed tackle rate for PQ.
Mm-hmm.
He missed 17 tackles. It's one per game.
Mm-hmm.
It's 12.4%.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
That's not good. But what was it the season before?
It was really good. 6.5. He missed 9.
And whenever he was a second team All-Pro the year before,
he missed 14 tackles, but it was out of a greater pool. It was a 9.5 rate.
Yeah. That's why
he really missed a lot of tackles as a rookie. That was as a rookie.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, Patrick Queen is not a perfect player at all. Like, no player is perfect. And the thing is, like, whenever like he was first signed, I remember in free agency writing about it, missed tackles was a concern. It was.
Oh, I mean, you're looking right at it here. 35 of them in the first 2 seasons. Yeah, Baltimore.
It was a concern, and it's remained somewhat of a concern. But people only want to remember 2025. I'm curious, and if the Steelers don't get rid of Patrick Queen, it obviously means that Patrick Graham is confident in whatever system he's going to implement and whatever schematics he's going to implement, that Patrick Queen is going to be a good fit for that. Because he's seen him play in Baltimore. He will know what he did in Baltimore if he does his homework properly, and I would assume he will. He's going to see how he played in Baltimore, and no, it's not just because of Roquan Smith, because Roquan didn't play as well.
Roquan carried him,
Roquan didn't play as well after Queen left either. So, all right. He will have seen how Queen played in that system. And then he'll see how Queen played in this system. And if he feels like he has the tools and the skill set and the experience or whatever to play in that system, then that's what they'll do. They'll hold on to him. If they don't, then obviously it means that they want to go in a different direction. And again, if you're going to go in a different direction, now might be a good time to do it, because you don't have draft classes like these very often in which the position is, dare I say, borderline stacked.
Wow.
For that position.
So a second round inside linebacker would take PQ's place in this scenario.
I don't know, but I would say Peyton Wilson takes PQ's place.
Who takes Wilson's place?
Possibly a draft pick. Or maybe you re-sign.
Okay. Oh, you're being literal. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay, Wilson would get the green dot and all that
Correct.
Other stuff. He's been trained on it.
But you know who, and you're gonna love this.
Okay.
You know who I really think they should try to bring back?
Oh, yes. Guest of the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Landon Roberts.
Yeah, because not only would it be a reunion in Pittsburgh, it'd also be a reunion with Patrick Graham, who we played for last year.
It would be a reunion on this program, too.
It would be. It would be. E-Rob was good.
I would take E-Rob.
I would if I'm Patrick Graham.
What the hell were they?
I have no idea.
They never even reached out.
I know. I don't know. I have no idea. After watching the way he played in that one season and the way he would send offensive linemen flying, I have no idea. I mean, it's one thing to just hit the closest warm body, but it's not just hitting it. It's sending it flying and blowing plays up.
He had no regard for his own well-being.
He did not.
Whatsoever. And which gives him something in common with another name that we brought up here not all that long ago, an inside linebacker who used to be here in Robert Spillane, who had more mentions than Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. He did. Oh, my God. You know how when you hear the name of a former Steeler or somebody,
oh, yeah,
it dings the bell for you here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I heard Spillane's name 100 times in that game.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was for negative stuff. Spillane was just making plays.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Crazy stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Which
Crazy.
again, whenever
They let them both walk. Just walk.
well, whenever I go, and that's why whenever I talk about this, and I brought it up before on the show, and I'm going to reiterate it again. When I talk about this whole thing about inside linebackers feeling shackled, Robert Spillane might be a really good example of that. He was thought of as a run stuffing guy. He couldn't cover, couldn't do anything.
He was labeled as labeled gets.
Yes.
He was your short yardage.
And fans couldn't stand him. Fans could not stand Robert Spillane. Every time he was on the field and he would get burned by a running back or something like that, the comments on our live files on our app would just flood with "get him off the field, dude." Fans did not like him, like in general. But then he goes off and he goes on and his game elevates after he leaves the system. That's why I'm wondering, like, does it need a huge overhaul? I'm not opposed to the idea of an overhaul. I'm not opposed to the idea. It makes a lot of sense in terms of finances if you do move on from Patrick Queen because you save $13 million.
Okay, but what are you saving it for?
Well, that's the other part.
That's the other part.
Yeah.
Of it. You don't clear out cap space
Just
for the
to
sake
clear.
of clearing cap
Yeah.
space. You're already, I think, going to save a bundle by cutting Jalen Ramsey.
Assuming he gets cut.
Or
Yeah.
restructure, redo, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to save something.
Yeah.
Omar Khan hasn't had to deal with the old school Omar restructuring a zillion different contracts in quite some time.
He hasn't had to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know that you need to save on the cap. I want to make sure that everything that needs to be spent on offense is spent up to and including, that one position that they don't spend on anymore. And I'm not talking about wide receiver. I meant quarterback. So do you have to make a move for a cap purpose? No. If you change your inside linebackers, and this is the other peril of this that comes from this subject, you're going to set yourself back there for a bit. I don't think anybody would dispute that. You're going to have the adjustment period for Wilson as Green Dot, as a different role. You're going to have the adjustment period, whoever it is that replaces PQ.
I would agree with that. So
I think the most likely scenario out of all this, to boomerang all the way back to the beginning, is that PQ will stay.
I would think so too. That's where I'm leaning right now.
And that he and Wilson will be tasked with a different type of defense, a different type of challenge, but also that, look, any defensive coordinator who's worth anything is going to come in and ask one question above all else. How do I stop the run? No, that's not specific to the Steelers. Okay. You can't get anywhere if you can't stop the run. So how am I going to do that? All right. Well, I have a healthy Deshaun Elliott. I can keep him closer to the line of scrimmage. I can get a different combination up front. Maybe there is a draft pick to be had up front still. You're looking for somebody who can join Derek Harmon, maybe Y.A. Black, and be part of the replacement process for Cam Hayward eventually. I could still be sold on that as a concept. You still need more on the defensive line. And then just say, listen, ultimately, for us to be the kind of defense that we want to be, we're going to have to have some Seattle moxie to us. Okay. I mean, we're going to have to be able to just put 4 guys down or 3 guys or whatever it is, get to 3-4. And if you're not good enough for this, then you're not going to be good enough to play for us. We can't keep compensating for you.
Yeah.
But that's not 2026. It's just not.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to try to figure out. I will say the NFL is circular. Things, we've, again, like I feel like I've said it on here a few times, but it's worth repeating. A couple of years ago, Sean McVay's offense was running 3 receiver sets 91% of the time, which it's you're pretty much, that's all you operate out of. This past year, he led the league in 3 tight end sets. Like far and away, the Steelers were second, and it was more than twice as often as the Steelers were running 3 tight end sets. Wow. That's just like the NFL is cyclical. It's right now kind of going into more of a bigger, like, not necessarily like running the ball at will. Like, it's not like 1974 all over again.
Yeah.
But you have to be able, like you said, you have to be able to stop the run. It's going to require guys who are probably a little bit bigger and stronger and more run-centric than a Peyton Wilson. Not saying there's not a spot for a Peyton Wilson in today's game. There absolutely is. But you need to have a hammer like an Landon Roberts, or you need to be able to have a guy who can do a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. Notice that the guys who are usually the very, very best at this position, Fred Warner, Jack Campbell, those guys, there's almost no hole in their game. Like, I'm not saying that Steelers need to get that guy in the first round, but man, if you could get that guy,
Bobby Wagner.
Oh my gosh. Like, if you can get that, I'm not saying you have to do it in the first round, but if you can get that guy in this draft, whether you hold on to PQ or not, whatever you do with Malik Harrison, whatever's going on, if you can get that guy in the draft, it's interesting to me, and it's a position I'm going to be watching. I go to Indianapolis next week for the combine. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be poking and prodding about inside linebackers because it's a position I did not expect to be this good.
And I am flying to Florida in a couple of hours, so we're going to begin wrapping up here, but not just yet. We're going to put some comments from our members. If you want to become a member of this channel, go to dkps.net/join to do that. You'll see that we have 3 levels there. Choose your level of preferred support for this program, for what it is that we do. By the way, you become a member of the entire DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers channel, not just this program. Rhino asks, and this is a fair question given the way I've been wording some of this, does that mean we should move on from Keanu Benton? Keanu is a work in progress. The first thing that Patrick Graham has to do, I believe, when it comes to Benton, is identify what he wants Benton to be. Because I have no doubt that the previous coaching staff looked at Benton and said, let's just figure it out along the way. Let's just throw him out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's tough, man. That's tough on the kid.
I don't think you should just move on, like, no matter what. But I will say with Keanu Benton, I'm at least intrigued by his highs from this past year. Because when he was playing well, he was playing really well. Like, to a point where you're like, if I'm a coach, I'm like, how can I tap into more of that? Because that right there is an impact player. And that's what the Steelers expected when they drafted him.
Oh, yeah. Wade here says that Tomlin puts players in a box and keeps them there. There's no changing his mind. I've seen examples to the contrary of that over the years, but by and large, you're correct. And that hasn't benefited really anybody over the course of the years here. Wandering Warrior says, I love the 3-4, but you need a stout 3 and a fast, strong 4. Such a great point over this. Because you notice that I mentioned the Seattle 4, and then I immediately did this. That's why.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, I think when I actually think about a modern 3-4, I think your defensive ends have to probably be a little bit more sleek than they used to be, not as stout as they used to be. They have to be strong, yes, and they have to be stout, but they have to be able to move. They have to be able to play multiple techniques. Your edge rushers have to be – Nick Herbig might be the lone exception, but they have to be kind of that strong and fast. Both TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith kind of fit the bill. But Nick Herbig, because of what he can do as a pass rusher, you make a spot for him. But your inside linebackers have to be very athletic, but they can't. I feel like it needs to be somebody who can be a little bit of both Peyton Wilson and Landon Roberts. Go into your lab.
That's asking a lot.
It is asking a lot, but if you notice that the best defenses have one of those guys.
I mean, I'd like all my safeties to be a combination of Troy Polamalu and the.
Well, first off,
the legal rules version of Ryan Clark. Okay. But that doesn't mean it's a thing.
No, but there are some guys that are that thing, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Mike has a question for you. Chris wants to know, putting aside best player available, what are the positions to address in the draft 1 to 3? 1 is wide receiver. What else you got?
Well, actually, I put on our app like 3 positions that I think need to be tapped into in this draft in particular. And
by the Steelers.
By the Steelers. Well, really, I think by almost any team, but especially with the Steelers, because it's not just about addressing a position of need. It's about, is this a good draft to take advantage of this position? I did put wide receiver because it is a good wide receiver class, because like the Steelers had a need at receiver last year, but they didn't tap into last year's crop because it wasn't a very good class. I was told that repeatedly. They didn't have a lot of respect for the class, and that was consistent outside of just the Steelers. This is a good class. While there's not this star mega guy that's coming out, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase type, there's a lot of really, really good players. It's a deep, deep class, and I think they're going to take advantage of it. I've already said it, inside linebacker is another position. I could see them getting really popular in day 2, so rounds 2 and 3. I really could see there being a run
on
of
ILB,
that position on day 2. Like, I really think it's going to be a position that's taking. And while, again, there are a couple of guys at the top of the class that are really, really interesting, cornerback is once again a really deep position, and James Pierre is not guaranteed to come back yet. Maybe he's back by then. I don't know. But I think cornerback's another position you have to at least take one, whether it's a slot, whether it's another outside guy, whatever it is. I think it's another position you have to be able to take advantage of where the draft is strong. Don't try to address.
Yeah, I see. I know what you're saying. Yeah, don't fight the draft.
No, it's like,
don't fight what it's handing you.
Well, and the draft is not a place to address needs. Like Kevin Colbert used to say that. You can criticize.
But they say it, but they still do it every single year.
Yeah,
go right through the list. I know what they say.
Mm-hmm.
I also know what they do.
Well, to be fair, receiver was a need last year, and they didn't address it.
That's just because they hate wide receivers.
It wasn't a good class of wide receivers. I will say, I liked a couple of guys. They liked a couple of guys. I know they liked Matthew Golden, but they did not like Matthew Golden more than they liked Derek Harmon, which is why they took Derek Harmon. So
they did just fine.
They 99. Did just fine with Derek Harmon. That was it's still early. He was just a rookie season, but that was a really impressive rookie year.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that. I like that they took that approach. I like that, even though, yes, it was an obvious need.
Mm-hmm.
They still got a player who was there and at a position of strength for the class, for the draft.
It was
class
a very good defensive tackle class. That was the other part of it too.
That's your sweet spot in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
When you can make all that stuff converge. When it doesn't work is when we're not doing it a second time. We're not straying Kennedy again. Yeah. Guys, appreciate having you here. Appreciate everybody coming in and especially those of you who've become members. The support is not taken for granted. It's dkps.net/join. You're the reason that we're able to keep these programs going and coming at you on a daily basis. I am flying to Florida. I'm going to be doing spring training for the rest of this week. When I come back, then Chris goes to Indianapolis. So
we're going to be all over the place.
Last time we're going to be sharing a box.
Yeah.
We're going to be sharing this box or this space here for a while. So, but that's part of what we do too. We're trying to go out and get you the stories right where they are. I saw a couple of you had questions for Chris about the combine. He will love to take those from you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you come back at those subjects with him tomorrow. I'll be joining you in some kind of little. Depends on what kind of mood she's in, how little the box is. But yeah, appreciate you guys, and we'll see everybody in some form or other tomorrow.